Okay. Well, let's start out sort of chronologically. As I said, it's really informal. Let's start out with you, Daddy. You were born in 1922, December 15th.
Yep.
And in Stuart, Virginia.
Yeah.
And I don't guess you remember anything about that, do you?
No, because we moved to Spray when I was about 6 months old.
Oh, okay. So you only lived up there for 6 months.
Yeah.
All right. Were you born at home or in a hospital? Do you know?
It had to be at home because they didn't have a hospital.
All right.
Stuart still doesn't have a hospital.
Yeah, they do.
Do they do?
Yeah, they got a big
Yeah.
hospital.
Do you know what time of day you were born?
No.
Do you even have a birth certificate?
I did not until, I was up in my, 30s, 40s? Because
In the 40s.
all the
because-
birth certificates and things were burned in the courthouse at Stuart. Courthouse burned with all records. I had a birth certificate there,
Yeah.
but it burned with all the others. But it burned every record that Stuart had.
So how did they go about getting you a record? Then?
I had to go
We were getting
through
ready
the
to go on
government
a
at Washington. I had to get my record
to get a passport.
Army. That's what I say. I had to get a record for my armed services. I had to get Daddy to fill out an affidavit of when I was born, and had to get
Freedom.
a voting record of when I started voting, so that they could verify
Yeah.
my age.
Is this so you can enter the armed forces?
No, so I could get a passport.
A passport.
Yeah.
And you had to have the passport for the armed forces?
No,
or-
no, we were going overseas,
We were going on a trip. When we
and
was-
I had to have a passport.
while we
This
had
was
the
after
store.
I was in
While we had the store.
business.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Whirlpool.
So
was
you
sent-
didn't have anything until then?
I know.
You went into the armed forces without a birth certificate or anything?
Yeah, they didn't ask you for birth certificates, did they? They just checked you to see if you was
Oh,
able
you
to
have your death
walk.
certificate. If you walked in on your own power and you heard it thunder
They
last
checked you to
night,
see if you was able to walk, and you went in.
That's right.
All right, so born in Stuart, Virginia, born at home. How many brothers and sisters did you have at the time?
I had 2 sisters and 2 brothers when I was born.
Who were they?
I had another brother, but he died when he was 5.
Was he
Before I was born.
before you were born?
Yeah.
Who were your brothers and sisters when you were born?
Mary and Maddie were the sisters, and Tom and Clement were the brothers.
All right, and were any more? I don't guess if you only lived there 6 months, no others were born in Stuart, Virginia. Then
No.
were they born in Stuart,
All the
Virginia
rest,
also?
Virginia was born at Spray, and they're right behind where Bobby Stratton's place
But
is at.
your 4 older brothers and sisters, were they born in Stuart?
They were born in Stuart, yeah.
Okay.
Well, no. I believe Tom and Clement were born in Martinsville.
That's where Hughes was born, too.
No, Hughes died there.
Okay.
Were they living there at the time?
Yeah,
Okay, so they had lived in Martinsville before you were born. Then,
yeah.
what was Granddaddy and Granny doing in Martinsville?
I think he was working in furniture there.
Okay, did Granny ever work?
Outside the home.
No.
Well,
Until all the kids got grown, then she did.
she worked, did altering for stores.
Yeah.
She used to work for Froman and I don't know who else. But she used to do altering clothes.
Okay. All right. So
Did you say she taught for a while?
I think she did in Stuart.
What?
taught
She
school.
taught in school.
Yeah, part-time in Stuart.
Okay. And what was Granddaddy doing in Stuart?
Well, at one time he was a mail carrier.
Really?
Yeah.
I never knew that.
I
Did y'all know
didn't.
that?
Yeah, he was a mail carrier when he had his appendix removed there.
And what else did he do besides being a mail carrier?
I don't know. That may have been all he did while he was in Stuart.
And how did he and Granny meet? Do you know? Have any idea?
No, no idea.
Don't know where they were living at the time or
They both were living there in Stuart.
when they met.
Yeah,
So they
that's where they lived all their lives.
was that where Granddaddy was born?
Yeah.
Okay. Was Granny born in Stuart also? Okay. Y'all got anything else about Stuart or anything?
I don't think so.
All right. So after 6 months after you were born, then you moved to Spray.
We moved to Spray and lived there, right next to the mill, until I was
Which mill was it?
in Nantucket.
The finishing meal, you know.
Finishing mill. Daddy worked in the finishing mill.
Which one was the finishing mill now?
That was the one, you know where the old YMCA was at?
Yeah.
The road went straight by.
Yeah.
And on the right there was the finishing mill.
Okay.
The one that's still there was in Nantucket. That
Okay.
mill that's still there,
Yeah.
where they
Made
have, they're
apartments out of
they're making a museum out of it or something.
Banjo
That's
Museum.
Rhode Island.
All right. So he came. Y'all moved down here
We moved down
because
the
of Fieldcrest.
Marshall Field.
Marshall
Marshall
Field.
Field moved us down here.
Paid for you to move down
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
So he was up there recruiting people
Oh
to
yeah,
work.
they went up there recruiting from the mountains and move them down here, put them in a house, give them a job.
That was a pretty good deal back then,
Oh,
I
yeah,
guess, wasn't it?
very good. His first job was running a box making machine. They used wooden boxes to ship the blankets in at that time,
Yeah.
and it was made with strips and thin veneer. And the pieces were cut out. He'd place them in the machine with the veneer on top of the strips, and then this machine come down and nailed all of them at one time.
All right. So moved you down here, put you in a house. Where was the house? Do you know?
Yeah, right. You know where the post office is at in Spray now? The old post office there,
The old
bottom of
one?
Church Street.
Right.
You know where Bobby Stratton's store
Yeah,
is?
that blue building. Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
Okay.
That first house going up Short Morgan
Mhm.
on the right was where we lived.
Okay. How long did you live there?
Until I was about nearly 4,
Okay.
because Virginia was born there, and I remember when she was born.
All right.
Dr. Ray delivered her there at the house.
And you remember that at 4 years old?
I was 3 when she was born.
And you remember that?
I remember playing with the toolbox on his Model T car.
He told me that he could remember a black lady that,
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Mama did work in the mill when we first come down here.
Yeah.
because he said he
Because,
could remember her
This,
pushing
she
him
used
in
to
the
push me,
stroller.
this black lady kept me, she used to push me up in the carriage to the YMCA and meet Mama when she come out of work.
What hours did they work?
They worked till about dark then.
When did they
They
start?
worked about 12 hours.
Where
close to
it
12
started
hours a day.
like 6 in the morning or something, or
7 in the morning till,
Yeah.
I believe it got off at 6 at night.
wow. All right, so you were 3 or 4 when
I was between 3 and 4 when we
When-
moved up to Carolina Heights.
all right, when Virginia was born. All right.
Did Jenny come with you from Stuart?
No, Virginia was born.
Virginia was born.
Jenny.
Oh, Jenny.
Oh, Jenny. No, she didn't come with us. She came down and lived with Aunt Lena.
About the same time y'all came down
Yeah,
as a family.
yeah.